on today's Which Word of the Day, let's talk electrical arts. So this is when users can create, shape, and manipulate electricity, or a form of energy resulting from the movement of charged particles. So for me, one of my earliest exposures to this power was the ever popular, I know everybody's seen it, movie Big Trouble in Little China, when sexy ass lightning comes down from the sky and he's like, oh, I have lightning powers, I'm sexy. And he actually doesn't talk at all, but he's wearing this big Chinese hat on, and he's really cool. And he looks so cool that people may not know he inspired Raiden from Mortal Kombat, who also has electrical arts. The more you know.
And Raiden's badass.
Yeah, but Raiden's not sexy like Lightning was.
Yeah, fun.
You haven't even read that?
Wait, what are you doing with the book?
So he has the confidence to finish the story.
Hear now the words of the witches.
This is Kevin, and welcome to Words of the Witches, the Charmed podcast that will guide you through the lesser-known published material in the Charmed universe and decide how it fits into the grand narrative of the TV series.
Okay, so welcome to Words of the Witches, episode 77. I'm your resident Charmed resource, Kevin.
And I'm Sean. I just love comic books and doing Irish accents.
Well, joining us today, funny you mentioned that, is an Irishman in Hong Kong. We have Tobias. It's like, you know what? It's like, what's someone call it? An American in London, an Irishman in Hong Kong.
Right.
Yeah.
Big Irish in Little China, they call me.
There you go.
You're like the sequel to Big Trouble in Little China.
Well, welcome.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, you were on Hanging with the Hallows when we did that back in the day.
Yes.
Wasn't that long ago.
This completes my triquetra of guest starring. This is the third.
Yeah, because you were on Brunch too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not done yet. We are still stealing you for solving for X when we get to X-Men Evolution, because I know you're a stan of that.
Yes. Can't wait.
Yeah, so quickly go over your discovery of the show.
Sure. So I think I started watching it back in the day when it was on Irish TV, so I'm not quite sure putting it into the timeline of when it was airing in the US, but I think it got picked up, and I think they aired, obviously they started with season 1, and I think we kind of started, me and my sister started watching it maybe halfway through. We didn't start from the very start, but we got hooked on it immediately. And because you had to watch it every week, sometimes you would miss an episode here and there, but it always stuck with me. I vividly remember, Shannon leaving the show and Paige coming in and all that. So ever since then, I've always been a huge fan of it, bought the DVDs, and to this day, I will just rewatch it again and again. So, I love the show, and I think like most people would say, it's comfort. You just watch it and it's like a safe space for you. There's never a bad experience watching the show.
Aww.
Mm-hmm. Charmed is like a warm hug.
Exactly.
It really is.
Exactly.
So I'm just wondering, just to follow up on that, Toby, can I call you Toby, Tobias?
You can
Toby?
call me whatever you want.
Oh, okay, Roxanne. Have you read the comics before, or is this your first time going through them?
Never had any interaction with the comics before. Read a couple of the novels, but that's about it. So I was really excited for you guys doing this. And, Kevin's obviously put so much time and effort, and I can't believe the number of episodes that you've done, and also how quickly you've been able to get through them as well. It's really impressive. And thank you for introducing them to people like me who are big fans of the show, because it's even now that they're available online, it's still, to sit down and go through them all and read them is one thing, but to sort of go through it with other fans and hear other people's thoughts on them, I think is actually a lot more entertaining. So I enjoy listening to your episodes probably more than I do actually reading the comics themselves.
Wow. Thank you, and I'll send you your $20 Venmo later for saying
No, thank you. It's exactly what I set out to do when I created this podcast, to bring these stories to the masses. And the medium makes it really accessible and really fun to go over. So thank you for that. We do have some things to go over before we get into this issue this week. Oh my gosh, so many things. So, do you remember Bernard, who was leaving some thoughts last time on the Twitterverse? He's catching up on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I have a few things that were interesting that he wrote recently. So in issue 19, the one where Paige got her little noir guy to open the safe, and we thought, why didn't she just orb the door off? He said it's probably because she didn't want to set off any alarms. It's like, oh.
Fair.
Clever.
Okay.
Yeah.
The clever little white witch.
What a clever little white witch. Another Irishman, actually, Bernard is. So there you go.
Oh.
It's like the theme of this episode.
Love it.
And he pointed out something that we completely missed because we probably just fixed it in our head. But in issue 21, when Paige was getting everybody to go to the clock tower before Daryl appeared with his powers, there was a mistake on a panel.
What was it? Oh.
Paige was colored with Piper's hair and clothes, while Piper was colored with Paige's red hair in the foreground.
Oh.
I did not even notice. I need to go back and look at that now.
Yeah, we just fixed it in our brains because every other panel was correct, but that one small one was not correct. Actually, I took a picture of it, and if you can see.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so the dark hair girl is literally saying, Piper, come here.
Yeah, but also the drawings are so not looking like them that it could be anyone.
Yeah. So.
Wow. Good eye. Good eye sniper.
I know. He's so great. I'm also going to take the opportunity to announce a new Charmed project that's happening. Our friend Aaron remembers back when we were doing the novels and the Pied Piper episode, and I had those musical songs for if Charmed became a musical.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Aaron actually started writing songs based off of my titles.
Wow.
And he sent me some of his demos of them, so I'm going to play them for you. And, oh my gosh, you have to hear these. They're so good. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah, ready.
Hello, spell worders. This is Aaron from the Great Typhoons and Raging Fires podcast and also the Sparky Bookman podcast. And I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm also a composer. Yes. And so I've been starting to craft together some musical songs based off of what was discussed in a previous Words of the Witches episode where they talked about what would it be like if Charmed had a musical episode. Given that, the power of 3 is very strong, let's give you 3 songs to preview, and here they are. The elders may direct us, but I will protect us here at the nexus of the all. So we're going to be careful, we're going to be wise, we'll always be together, no more goodbyes. I don't wanna know, I don't wanna know, I don't wanna know. I don't wanna know, I don't wanna know, I don't wanna know. All this nonsense has gotta stop. I can't help you, I'm a cop. I could lose my job. You're the only. So turn the page on me. Just turn the page and set me free. Don't see me as I was, just see me as I am.
What do you think of those?
Wow. That's
How
amazing.
pretty. Yeah.
Wow.
So we had
as we were listening, I got this image in my head of you in like a fetal position with tissues all around you as you're crying in happiness. You got these songs.
I cried listening to these because he took my Prue
knew it.
song, Careful, Wise, Together. I would change the lyric to Gonna Stick Together because that's what she said in the episode, but otherwise perfect. He got my Daryl song, I Don't Want to Know, and then he did the Paige song. So it's very exciting.
Yeah.
That's
I like the Daryl
amazing.
song the most.
Me too. That's my favorite.
But yeah, so because of these and this hope he's given, I decided that we're gonna work on this musical together and try to make a radio charmed musical podcast.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
Awesome.
We're gonna be writing script. We're gonna be writing songs. It's happening.
That's
I
so
want to be
cool.
Paige.
Yeah, you can sing that song. You can sing the Turn the Page song.
Oh, never mind. Somebody has to sing for me. Paige will go from this man voice to somebody singing beautiful woman voice.
Amazing. Oh my gosh, I'm beyond the moon. But anyway, let's move on to our poll results from last week. It was, what nickname would you give Gaxagiel? And on Instagram, Gaxi got the most votes at 52%, followed by Gax and Gorgeous Germaphobe. We did have 2 responses for other Daddy Gax.
Oh, wow.
And what was the other one? Mr. Hottie French Tickler. And that Mr. Hottie, that was from Raphael Carcamo, Mr. Hottie French Tickler, and Daddy Gax was from MJ.
Nice. I was going to say, fuck me, Daddy Gaxi, but that's very close.
Ooh, see? That's good too. Combine it all together.
I love all your references to earlier episodes.
I did my homework.
You did. On Twitter, it's interesting because there, Gax won at 43%.
Oh.
And then Gaxi and Gorgeous Germaphobe were tied. But Bernard, again, wrote a write-in that says, Gary Guy Gax, as in the guy that created Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, I just learned about him.
All right. Well, silence. Let's do it. Let's get into this comic. So this is season 10, issue 2, Magically Delicious. And we will be doing it. And it was published November 5th, 2014. Written by Pat Shand, artwork by Elisa Feliz, covers by Valentino Cuomo, letters by Jim Campbell, edited by Paul Ruditis, and cover art by David Seidman. Do we enjoy this beautiful cover?
Yes.
I have some thoughts.
Oh,
Okay.
uh-oh.
What are your
Sorry.
thoughts?
So my first reaction when I saw it was like, oh, cool. Okay, that's all right. Leprechauns. Okay, and Phoebe, right? This is Phoebe on the cover, yes?
Phoebe.
Yes.
Right.
In her
Okay, so
underwear.
it's like- in her underwear. Nothing new there. So I was like, okay, cool. So maybe we're gonna see Phoebe having, more interaction with the Leprechauns. Okay, interesting, exciting. And then you read the issue and you're like, okay, where was that? Because it's kind of,
I agree on that.
I don't understand why it's Phoebe on the cover. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's Phoebe right in the middle with her 4-leaf clover tank. She's holding a shillelagh and gold coins, and she's floating above a pot of gold with leprechauns watching her like it's some kind of ritual, and
Right.
rainbows shooting out behind her. But yeah, it's not Phoebe-centric at all.
No, it's not. And it's not
Yeah.
hugely Paige-centric, but if it's going to be anyone, then it should be Paige, right?
Yeah.
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 And this is another one of my pet peeves. I literally just read one where it's about Sam Wilson, Captain America, and it shows him battling Falcon on the cover, like the new Falcon. And there's this huge battle, and then you read it, and they mention Falcon's in the hospital, and that's the only time he's ever in the comic. I'm like, where's the battle?
Right.
So this happens a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's my
So,
only thing. Otherwise, I
amazing.
like it. It's giving Gay Pride Parade St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah. Maybe Phoebe's the drag queen for the event.
What would her drag name be?
Oh gosh, Cloverella. I don't know.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I like that.
let's start this issue.
Yeah.
And so, Tobias, you do not want to cover the pages, correct?
Yeah, I can just chime in with the leprechauns if you want. if
Okay.
That's cool.
So Sean and I will do it, and then we'll have you chime in. And
Cool.
Sean, start us off.
All right. To start us off, we've got this very well, he's a demon. He looks like Finch from Harry Potter. I'm just going to read it because it's dramatic. He goes, "Centuries have passed since the last visitor darkened my door. So few attempt to wield that which you seek, that which has destroyed power far greater than your own." And then he opens his eyes and they're like glowy red, like Cyclops, but not absorbing power from the sun, Kevin. His eyes are actually portals to another dimension.
See, here it would make sense.
It would make more sense here. And somebody off panel says, "And yet here we are. We've come for, I know what you've come for." So dramatic. What an opening.
Yeah. And then the next page is a double spread.
Ooh.
It's split kind of between an upper and a lower part. The upper part is like in this crazy cave, and the demon is approached by Fritz and Valen. And then he's like, "We want the power, the glory of God, and the charmed one's heads on a mounted on our walls." And then the demon's like, "Okay." He says some kind of demonic language. And he summons a book to him. And he's like, "I wish I were the one to carry the blade and destroy the charmed ones. But fine, you can do it." And and he's like, "5 demons and 1 warlock have held the blade before, but they've all been eradicated." And then Fritz and Valen's like, "All right, let's do this. We can do it."
Yeah. Coming up next, we're at the nexus of the all, and we hear somebody say, "Come on." And then back at the manor, Leo saying, "Hello? Oh, hey, Prue, how's it going?" And she's like, "It's going. Is Piper around?" And Leo's like, "No, she's avoiding you. I mean, she just took off. Maybe give her cell phone a try." But what's really cool about this panel is like Prue is making the phone levitate as there's like a hologram of Leo coming out of the phone. Boss bitch mode right here.
She's got the technology magic.
Yeah. Cole's busy like eating her out while she's on the phone. Oh, wrong comic. Sorry. Prue says, "Been there, called that. I'm starting to wonder if I should just stop calling." And Leo's like, "No, don't stop. It's nothing personal. Phoebe's like prepping her book tour. Paige has a new charge every week, and Piper has like 6 of her friends getting married, so it's nothing against you." And Prue kind of gives up, and she's like, "Well, fine. Well, tell them I called." And Leo says, "Of course," as he's fixing a sink. They hang up, and Prue and Cole are talking now. Cole's entered the room, and as Prue's saying bye, Cole says, "Family trouble?" And she's like, "Not now, Cole. Get back down on that gina." And then the manor, Leo says, "Damn it."
Beautiful.
You're welcome.
All right. So then the next page, it continues with Prue and Cole. And he's like, "I know, it's not my business." And Prue's like, "Yeah, it's not your business. Shut up. Leave me alone."
Is this Prue played by Kristen Stewart?
Right. And she's like, "You think they'd answer a call now and then, yeah?" But she's like, "I'm in no mood for a heart-to-heart, Cole. Get away from me." He's like, "Okay, right then. All right, let me go over here in my own little corner." And we see this like shadowy walking into the doorway, and then he goes to his little cabinet and he opens it and it says, "Soon." this page, there's 2 panels here that are actually a You Look Familiar moment.
It's funny, she's so familiar to me, though. Reminds me of this old stray that used to hang outside my loft.
Familiars. That's what I'm looking for.
Have we met before? You look familiar.
Tobias, can you guess?
I'm assuming you're referring to the cabinet, which I think first appeared in season 3. Would that be right?
Yes. This cabinet is in
Called
season 3.
Magic Cabinet.
Yeah, it's the one he had when he was like, on the prowl as Balthazar trying to get to the charmed ones.
Right.
And I use a shot from Power Outage because that was when he was like looking at Phoebe Kim and he was like, let me look at my cabinet. She's going to see my cabinet. But this other shot with him like in the doorway as a shadow is very reminiscent of the Shadow Demon page in the Book of Shadows that I have.
Oh.
As well. And the Shadow Demon was his like little friend that was in the beginning too. It's actually a separate demon that he kind of used upper level demons as a host, and he was a messenger between the underworld and the demons themselves. So yeah.
If you want to take the You Look Familiar to the next level, you could also put a shot of Zombie from Pee-wee's Playhouse, because I swear the doors to Zombie's cabinet look just like this.
Oh my gosh, I have to look this up now.
I could be wrong. I'm going off memory, but they're cut like zigzaggy like that. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yes, and I'm gonna call for Tobias's help on this page. Why don't you come upstairs and fuck me in the ass sometime? Sorry, too much RuPaul does this to you. So we see Piper walking into her restaurant. She's on the phone with Leo, and she's like, I'm not happy about it either. And she's like, after all of this is done, we'll just have to go there. We'll have to sit down with Prue, and we'll have to figure. And then she's interrupted by what, Tobias? A voice?
For the love of St. Andrew, that coconut cream pie!
I love it. It's so good. It's my favorite.
This is great. This is my favorite episode ever. And then Piper slams down the phone and says, hold that thought, Leo. And he's like, Piper, is everything okay? And she goes, who the fuck? As she opens the door.
She's doing the whole stop in the name of love. Stop right now. Thank you very much. I love it.
So now we're in the kitchen.
Is the kitchen. Yep. Would you like to cover this page? Since it's, yeah.
Sure. So now we're in the kitchen and we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 leprechauns, one drunk passed out on the floor, and the rest of them are either eating or fighting, and 2 of them are looking at Piper. I think these are the 2 that we recognize from previous episodes. And he says, well, it took you long enough. We've been waiting in this kitchen for nearly 2 hours for one of you to show up. We need your help. Oh, and there's another side. Then it says, and by the way, excellent pie.
And Piper's just like, oh my God, fuck these leprechauns. They look like little brats in here, though. Getting drunk, eating the Rice Krispies, getting in brawls.
Yeah, it's very Gremlins.
Yeah.
It's Gremlins.
Is his name Brian O'Malley? Was that his name?
I think I'm mixing that with Thomas O'Malley, the Alley Cat, but it's Andrew O'Brien is the
Andrew
one.
O'Brien. His eyes are
and then
so
the other one is Riley,
right
I think.
Right.
He looks so creepy. Ugh, I don't like it. Fun fact, that actor, he was born on Halloween. That actor.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I don't remember his name, though, but I know he was born on Halloween.
That's why he has creepy eyes.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. All right. So next up, Piper is in the bar, and she's like, I don't understand why you didn't just go to the manor. If one of my staff got here early and saw you...
We tried last night. Poor Riley got shocked for locking on your door. That's a hell of a security system you've got, lass. Grumble, 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 grumble.
He's got his like spiked up like electrocuted hair.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's onomatopoeia. It just says grumble, grumble, grumble.
Yeah. I love it. And then Piper goes, security? I have no idea what you're talking about. And then suddenly she sees Orbeez, but they're not like, I don't know, they're like the messy orbs you talked about last issue, Kevin.
Yeah, I don't like the way they're drawn.
Yeah. And she goes, finally. And then Paige has orbed in with, I believe that's Phoebe with very blonde looking hair and Leo.
It's like her season 4 hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. In this shot, they looked more like Saved by the Bell to me, especially Leo. He looks like Zach.
Right. I actually, I thought Paige had brought 2 charges from magic school. That's what I thought was happening. So who are these 2 young teenagers that she's brought with her?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But Paige is like, oh. And then she says, leprechauns, how very me.
Paige! Good to see you. Nice hair. Been too long. Looking good. Sorry for betraying you. Bygones, eh? Way nicer than Piper. Oh, my favorite.
They love Paige.
I love that. Way nicer than Piper.
I know. Piper is a bitch, though.
We've got a problem, Paige. We need the help of the charmed ones.
And then Paige is like, Piper, that's you too. Charmed ones. You're a charmed one. And then Piper's just like, today I'm a catering one. They're all yours.
I love that.
Catering one.
I do have to say, I really enjoy Paige's outfit in here. I think it's super cute.
Yeah, it looks great.
It would look better on my floor.
Yeah, that pink blazer with the teal striped. Oh, so good. Okay. So the next page cuts to the Green Meadow. Oh. And we see people Rainbow Burger in, and they go, whoa. And I love the shot, correct me up, because they get there and Phoebe and Leo automatically just fall on their asses. And they're just like, and she's like, Paige is just like, amateurs. Cracks me up. And then the leprechauns start helping them up, and Andrew and Brian's like, oh, go ahead.
Come on, we can't sit around all day, can we? Evil is afoot. And then we see Bevan,
They walk
right?
up to a tree for another one. Yeah, Bevan.
Right. Go on, Bevan. Tell Paige and these other 2 what happened to you. Yeah, so Phoebe's like offended by it, right? And Leo's like, I don't mind being called the other 2.
This page is actually going to be our power play for the day as well.
Mm.
Power play.
So today's power play is rainbow teleportation, and it is the ability to teleport by summoning and stepping into a rainbow. Leprechauns use rainbows as means of transportation, which they summon through their shillelaghs with a spell. Rainbows can also be summoned by other beings when they are in possession of a shillelagh. Do you remember the spell, Tobias?
So one of their spells is Gunairi and Boher Lath. Is it that one? Or is it the other one? Okay.
That's the one.
So that means may the road rise up to meet you. Something like that.
Yes. Yeah, because it says here, I have a note here. It says, some believe the translation of the spell means that the road rise with you, but that's incorrect because in the blessings used by the Gaelics, it means may you have a successful journey.
Yeah.
Huh.
So it kind of makes sense.
Yeah. And Seamus said rainbows are in the sky all the time. Even though rainbows can be seen when it rains, the ones they travel on are usually invisible to most. They light them up with their shillelaghs. And some argue, I've seen this on the internet, that the rainbows are merely a visual for the audience and they're not actually there in the world that they're in, visible to the world that they're in. Which, what do you think about that? Do you think it's like only something that leprechauns can see? Or
that only witches can see it?
Right.
I was just trying to think if there was any scene where there was like a Mortal or Daryl around that we would kind of know if they could see what was happening or not.
Right.
Because I feel like it's definitely, the witches can definitely see it. Or that at least they can see them doing something disappearing.
Yeah, they're definitely visible, there you go, to others. And they're not just invisible and not just for the audience of the TV to see, because, yeah, they react to them like they're there.
I think so, yeah, I agree.
And they have to physically walk into them. Because Salil can definitely see the rainbows. And Paige and Phoebe certainly see the rainbows. Because remember when Phoebe had the shillelagh and she summoned it, and then Paige is like, that's so cool, let's go. So, yeah, maybe you have to be in possession of a shillelagh, or maybe you have to have traveled on a rainbow before. But to me, I think if you are a magic user and are aware of the existence of leprechauns, then that gives you enough to see it.
Yeah, I think so. I could believe that mortals wouldn't be able to see it.
Right.
You guys are making me want to watch Rainbow Bright real bad.
But yeah, because...
Yeah, I agree. It seems like people would always see it. Because if you can see a rainbow with the naked eye, then why wouldn't you be able to see like a magical rainbow with the naked eye? It seems like a big jump that you wouldn't.
Right. And I think maybe the Charmed ones probably didn't see it before because they were unaware of leprechauns' existence. So it wasn't in their brain or to even think about it. But now that they knew, then it's something they could see after the fact.
Right. And we're told that their role in the world is to spread luck, right? So we assume that they have interactions with mortals where they are invisible to them and mortals don't see them, but they give them luck.
Right.
All right. So now we see Paige approach. What was his name? It was
Bevan. Or Bevan.
So Bevan is, yeah, it's like Kevin, but with a B, like a bitchy Kevin.
Yeah.
So Bevan is looking all like sad and forlorn against a tree, and Paige comes up and says, "Wow, something got you good. Let me heal you up, little guy." So he's hurt, and he says,
"Little guy, I'm 260 years old, mind you."
I'm broken. So Paige says, "There, all fixed up. Now, what the hell happened here?"
Oh, I love this part. He says, "We've all got our duties here, but I've got the crap end of the stick. O'Brien tends to the flowers, Owen collects the sap from the trees to make syrup, Oliver entertains the cooks with his dancing. Me, I've been on shillelagh polishing duty since 210th birthday."
And let me add here, I think the shillelagh polishing, it is such like a masturbation joke.
Right, exactly.
I will be polishing my shillelaghs all day too. Why not? Get it?
I mean, if you want to read into this, there's quite a lot of stuff here. Like, you know, he collects the juicy sap from the trees, from the wood. Oliver entertains the cooks with his dancing. Right? There's a lot of stuff very...
No wonder why there's no female leprechauns that we see.
Right. I feel like maybe it's like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
You know, in Lord of the Rings, they're like, "Oh, like, are there any female dwarfs?" And they're like, "There are, but people often confuse them with male dwarfs because of the beards." So maybe Bevan's actually a woman.
Maybe.
So
Bevan, the shillelagh polisher.
I think that's going to be my drag name, Shillelagh Polisher. So he says,
Amazing.
"Anyway, I was spending my Monday morning the way I always do, polishing. I'm dying. Oh my god, I just read the next part. It's even worse. Oh my god. Okay, yeah. So
yeah.
The writer's definitely having a bit of fun here, because the next part he says, I was getting a really good rhythm in too when these two demons showed up. I don't know how they got here, mind, but here they were. One of them zapped me clear across the middle. I'm lucky I ain't dead. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Tears. Okay.
Yeah, so I think that's where the writing goes to the point where it's not us making it up anymore. The writer's definitely having a little cheeky joke there.
I get it. Cheeky.
Yes.
Oh my god. So on the next part he says, the bastards took a shillelagh each and burned the others.
Oh. All right. Whew. And I read into this a little bit because Phoebe looks like she's leaning over, like so patronizing, like she's talking to a child. She's
I
like,
know.
"Hey, little guy, can you describe those demons?
Can you draw us a picture with these crayons?"
Show us on the doll where the demon touched you. So he replies to Phoebe saying, "Low levels, they were covered in some kind of spell, and I smelled other realms on them. We leprechauns, we may not be much in a fight, but we know our way through the world. They'd been strange places before coming here, I'll tell you that." I think he's referring to maybe a gay sauna or something like that.
Yeah.
And you hear somebody off screen go, "Hee hee hee." By the way, I had to go get a drink out of the fridge because my throat is so raw from laughing. Tobias, this is what you've done to me.
Well, I never thought I'd be responsible for making your throat feel raw, Sean. I'm so sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Wait till I visit you in Hong Kong.
All right. Ooh, to the next page. We see a boom and a fireball flies at them. Leo's like, "On the ground," and Paige does her Spider-Man pose. It's beautiful.
Oh, she does. That's like when in Black Widow and
Black Widow, yes,
doing the pose.
And she does look like Black Widow with this hairstyle.
The hair,
yeah,
exactly, sure. Yes.
Yeah.
It's like always with the superhero poses. And then the fireball hits a tree, and then the guy's like, "You're all going to die down here," like the Red Queen from Resident Evil movie.
Oh yeah.
And Phoebe grabs Leo. She's like, "Hold on, let's go flying, because let's get out of here. You're immortal." And Paige is there guarding the leprechauns. Andrew O'Brien looks like Chucky, and and Paige is like, "Is this one of them?"
It most certainly is not.
I wasn't ready that time. I get the page. So suddenly the glowy eyes demon shows up from the beginning. He goes, "I'm merely the calm before the storm. I wanted to see your faces one last time before death comes calling. This isn't like before. When the blade flashes, your story ends." And then Phoebe goes, "Yeah, if you're the calm, who's the storm?" And he says, "I've waited so long to see the balance tip, and tip it will. When you perish, remember my face. Remember these eyes. Remember this penis. Remember he who prophesies the death of the charmed ones. Remember Murray!" And then Paige just goes, "Did he just?" And Phoebe goes, "Murray?" And Paige goes, "Is his name Murray? You mock me? Taste my wrath!" I love it.
You left out Leo's line.
Oh, yeah. Leo says, "My grandpa was named Murray."
So then the next page has Phoebe levitating. She's like, "All right, hi!" And she kicks him in the face. And Bevan, with his beautiful gray beard with has googly eyes, is enamored.
"Lord above, I dare say I'm in love."
And then Phoebe puts her foot on Murray, and she's like, "Listen up, Murray. Tell us what we want to know." And he's like, you can kill me, but the reckoning is coming. And then he's just smiling and being creepy and like laughing. Death has been your shadow. La, 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 la. And Phoebe's just like, whatever. Let me take this potion out of my coat and just pour it over you. Sorry. And then you see his hands just like flailing. He's like, it was kind of dark. Talk about magically malicious. Like, oh my goodness. And then we see this other, even chuckier picture of Andrew O'Brien.
I don't know why they gave him these like pointy elfy ears, and the others don't really have those. It looks so weird. But
what do these leprechauns say? Yeah.
So Bevan is looking at what Phoebe's just done, and he says, "She's glorious, ain't she?" And Andrew says, "Enough, Bevan. Go polish the shillelaghs."
On the next page, we're back at the Nexus, and like we get this kind of cool effect, which this happened in the Power Rangers comic, where it's constantly changing, just like the Morphin Masters. So we see Cole and Prue talking, and Prue for some reason says, "Cole Turner, few men can brood so broodingly." She talks like I do. And he says, "Now you want to talk?" And she says, "Sorry about before. I was just annoyed." And he says, "I gathered that." And she says, "You've noticed it, haven't you? They used to visit. I couldn't get rid of Piper at first. Now I can't even get them to call me back. It's not just me, is it?" And he goes, "I suppose not."
This is a very dramatic scene, a very somber, quiet, intimate scene.
Yeah.
And it continues. Yeah. And Prue's like going on. She's like, "I thought I'd be done with magic after I bound my powers. And now magic is all I've got." And she's like, "But it's not Hollow magic. It's not what I've used to." And she's like, "I almost don't feel like Prue anymore." And that's really telling, because she doesn't say, "I don't feel like me anymore. I don't feel like Prue anymore," which is like making herself outside of herself. It's very interesting.
I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah. And Cole's like, "I can relate." And Prue's like, "Yeah, I know. And I mean that as a compliment. You know," she's like, "You've become pretty selfless lately, Cole." And he's like, "Oh, I never thought I'd hear you say that." So they're having a really nice, touching moment. They're bonding. But then Cole asks for a favor to his cabinet. And they're just like, "So what is?" She's like, "What is it?"
All right, and Cole opens the cabinet to show it's my father's soul. And he tells her he was human, my mother wasn't, she killed him. And when I found this, I was going to release him, but and finally give him peace. But there's no peace in the way he died. I can't just release him. I need your help. And she goes, "Whoa, whoa, what are you saying?" And he says, "I'm bringing him back." And she says, "Are you insane? Do you know how stupid that is? How dangerous?" And Cole says, "Coming from you of all people, that's rich. Is it only you and those you love that should be allowed a second chance?" And she says, "That isn't all. But then there's an alarm. Intruder in the manor. Intruder in the manor." And Prue says, "Oh, God." And she says, "Cole." And he says, "You don't have to say it. I'm there." And he what do we call it?
This is actually called dusting. We're talking about that. I have some canonical notes about this, but this is dusting.
Dusting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So he dust burgers in?
Yeah.
Dust burgers out.
So then the next page, there's no text, no talking, but we see him arrive at the front door of the manor. He walks up the steps, he goes inside, sees the basement door open, goes down the stairs, and then people, electrical burger in, lightning teleport in behind him.
Yeah. And then one of them slashes at Cole with a dagger. And tell me if I'm wrong here. So does the dagger go through Cole? Is that what I'm seeing? Or does it miss him?
He dodges. He backs up.
Okay. Because, the only reason I was confused, the next panel, Cole's like shimmering or dusting. And he says, "You idiots, do you know I'm already dead, right?" So that's why I wasn't sure if it went through him or if he dodged. Oh yeah, he would have dodged. Okay, I see why. Haha, I'm on the same
Mhm.
page now. So then, and you said this is Valen?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So Valen throws a knife and says, "Sure, but your soul isn't." And Cole says, "What?" And the knife goes shunk in the wall shunk in the wall behind him. And Cole goes, "Damn, Gina."
And then we see the next page. Fritz is attacking, and he's got electrokinesis. He's got the powers. He's got the electricity burgers, and goes. Gzzz, and he's like, "Not so fast, Balthazar." He's like, "I used to look up to you. You were a legend. Now you're pathetic." And he like starts shooting him with his electricity, and then Piper just walks down the down the stairs with a sting face. She's like, "What a day I had, stupid!" Like, I come home for a mental break and it gets so noisy down here. What in the hell are you doing? And then she's like, "Oh, there's a demon." And she's like, "Well, I have a water bottle here." She throws the water on him.
And then this is Fritz.
Fritz. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So next we see Fritz on the ground. Grrr! What did you? Yeah! What a world! What a world! Yeah! And then we see electric keys, and it goes krakoom, and it looks like he's gone. And this is the best line ever. As Piper's helping Cole up, she's like, "Vanquished by water." And Paige wasn't even here to see it.
And that's to go back to the last issue, and she's like, "I hope water's his weakness." So it's kind of funny.
Such good payoff. And then as Cole's getting helped up, he's like, "There's another he has," and then we just hear
and we see Valen coming out of the smoke shadows, and he's like, "Fritz was good company and a good fuck, but now it's my destiny to go on without him." He's like, "I'll be seeing you later," and then he taps his little staff, and he like smokes out
smoke burgers.
Smoke burgers out. Yeah, Piper and Cole are just sitting there like, okay.
So then later on in the manor, we see Leo's. It looks like he's grabbing Paige's butt actually, but he's opening the door, and Paige and this lady who I guess is Phoebe are walking in, and Paige says, "You broke the little guy's heart." And Phoebe says, "What do you want from me? I'm a married woman, and I'm sorry, but a 263-year-old leprechaun isn't my type." And Paige is like, "He was cute though, and obviously he has some good sex moves, so you're missing out." And then Phoebe says, "So are hamsters." Makes it a little creepy after what I added. So Leo says, "Hey, what happened here? Is everyone all right?" And Piper says, "No need to panic. Coop has the kids up at Cupid's temple while we're all rushing around." And then Paige says, "Don't tell me Gaxagiel? Came back. And Piper's like, no, just two low-level demons thought they'd take advantage of the empty house. Thankfully, Cole was here to stop them." And then Phoebe says, "They didn't happen to have shillelaghs, did they?" And Piper says, "Actually, yes." Ooh. And then Cole says, "Leo, what do you know about the Ancient Athame?" And Leo says, "I know that it's a really stupid name and it could have been a lot better, but it's a legend. Why?" And Cole says, "Because if I'm right about what I saw, we're all in big, big trouble in Little China." To be continued.
The end.
The end.
Okay. So, overall thoughts.
So I liked this issue. I think there's a lot of action. The story moves forward. Like, one thing I noticed with the comics that they kind of take advantage, especially as it goes on, is they are not afraid to progress the story in every issue. It's not standalone sort of Demon of the Week storyline. It's quite an overarching big bad, which is nice. And I'm sure as the season goes on, there might be a couple of maybe more filler type episodes. But I like that the first two issues of season 10, we have a villain. We have, questions we're not sure of, and the story's moving forward. And think with the Leprechauns, I think the second time reading it, it was even more entertaining. So I kind of enjoyed it and could see things that I didn't notice the first time around. So there was definitely like some comedy, some action, and we kind of see little bits of tension between Prue and Cole, and will they, won't they? So yeah, I think lots of good stuff here.
Cool.
Yeah, I'd agree. I like that we get a big story with the Leprechauns, not just like they're there to just help in the background. Like this is actually really showcasing them. And on top of that, I think this was a good way to fully introduce Fritz and Valen, because we got so little of them in the last episode, but now we actually get to see them in action and show that they're like playing for keeps. So I think this sets up a really compelling season 10, and it makes me want to keep reading it.
Yay!
And I missed a lot of the Prue stuff that you pointed out, so that makes it even more interesting, knowing that there's going to be like the Constance Prue struggle.
Patience.
What's her name? Patience. I know names today.
Yeah. For me, this issue gives you the illusion that's going to be like a silly leprechaun story, which of course it is, but plenty of humor and shenanigans. But it's also like so much more. The Leo, Phoebe, and Paige in the meadow is a feel-good time, but you also see how Prue and Cole have bonded over their time together, and how each of them have something they're struggling with. Pepper is her, I don't give two fucks kind of mood, which is kind of fun to see. So yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so put that in my canonical hat.
Canonical.
Anything for this? Any incorrect lore or strong callbacks?
I don't think so.
Okay, I have things.
Of course you do.
Of course you do.
I mean, of course, we have Andrew, O'Brien, and Riley. That's really great to see because they're from the show. Riley is the one from Spin City that finally gave Paige her shillelagh. We learned that Leo's grandfather's name is Murray, so now we know that his father's name was Chris and his grandfather's name was Murray, so we can start doing that Wyatt family tree. I do wish Murray had a different design, because to me, both when I read it this time and when I read it way back when, I kept thinking he was Javna. He looks so much like Javna to me. With the
he does look like Javna, yeah.
Yeah. So, I wish he just looked...
Javna!
I put, why does Cole's father's soul glow green? It's supposed to be that white orb.
Right.
I don't know why it's green. And we see Cole's teleportation, which it's supposed to be the same dusting that he had in the 7-Year Witch with his little gray wispies. This looks nothing like that. This looks like a green glow burger, and it's not dusting at all. Not accurate. So there's that. And I'm just curious, this might be answered in future comics because I don't remember, but why did Fritz and Valen steal the shillelaghs at all? Because they don't use them. They're not using them for anything. I mean, is it to steal luck for themselves?
Right, because you said he electro burgers in. He doesn't use the shillelagh to arrive,
No,
but they use
that's just his power.
But Valen used the shillelagh to escape, because maybe he doesn't have the power to electro burger. So he was using it as a means of transport.
Oh, because the staff he had was a different, because he had the shillelagh in one hand and then he had the big staff in the other. So I think that was just him being dramatic.
I'm going back to the panel that has the pile of shillelaghs, and I feel like one of them looks similar to the staff. So yeah, some of them have round tops on them.
Yeah.
I can't say that without laughing. Some of them look like they're made of wood, and some of them look like they have golf balls on top of them. So that
check out the knob on that one.
That one's really well polished. So looking at that scene where he's kind of polishing, and it's a flashback actually. So this is showing us before they were stolen.
Okay.
I think we're seeing that staff there, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Yeah, maybe.
Do you see that?
Yeah. Cool.
I assumed when I saw him holding something that looked similar, I assumed that what it was.
Yeah.
That's
but yeah,
true.
so
And he
I don't know
does
what it
exit
is.
by throwing it on the ground.
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah, so it must be. It's a very big shillelagh.
Yeah, wow.
So yeah, but yeah, I don't know if it's to steal luck for themselves. And actually, I need to correct a statement that I made on the War on Witches episode, because there I said that I think you have to be a leprechaun to activate the good luck. Do you remember this? But
Mhm.
Salil totally activated the good luck in Lucky Charmed without having to be a leprechaun. He gave it to the demons. He gave it to himself. So I guess other people can activate it. Now that I think about it,
wow.
so I wanted to correct
Yeah.
that. Okay, so next is tips for future white letters.
Oh, really? Just messengers? Guides? Think of us as guardian angels for good witches.
Tips for future white letters.
I was out being a force of good in the universe.
Do we have a moral for this issue?
I would say the moral here, I'm looking at it from like Piper's character.
Okay.
Like, what you give is what you get, because all the leprechauns are like, Piper is a straight up bitch. But everybody loves Paige. And Paige is like, wallowing in this love from the leprechauns. And that's because she's been there for them and she's supported them. And Piper's just like having a bad day that's gotten even worse because she wasn't there for them. So treat others how you want to be treated, because you don't know when you need them.
That's very true. And it is funny because Paige, while she definitely has the closest relationship to the leprechauns, but she also like dreads the leprechauns. She's like, why do I always get stuck with the leprechauns? So it's just kind of funny. She's like, it's very me. I know I have to own it, but I don't want to admit it.
Yeah.
For me, I think I thought about Cole and Prue. So I think try and put yourself in other people's shoes and see what they're going through a little bit. Be a bit more empathetic, because they kind of, I think Prue is a little bit hard on him, and then she kind of comes around. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, you're going through stuff too, and it's not all about me.
Yeah. Mine is kind of off of that, but a different part of the book. I put, you are not obligated to give favors just because you are family with someone or you're close with someone, because you can love and respect someone while still doing what is best for yourself. And if you are a person who asks a favor of someone that you know or have a really good relationship with, and it's rejected, you are allowed to be upset, obviously, but don't make that the reason that ruins a relationship. So you have to kind of empathize with both parties there, because it just might be for them.
Yeah, you don't owe anything to anyone.
Yeah. Next is onomatopoeia.
I have mine just because it's such a weird word. When Phoebe is kicking Murray in the face, we get sponk.
Sponked him.
Yeah, she sponked him in the face.
That was my onomatopoeia too. I liked it because it reminded me of spunk, and that's like one of my favorite things.
Oh, wow. Okay, Tobias back. Look at what we're becoming.
Well, I'm really glad that I chose shunk.
Shunk, that's another good one.
Yeah. So when he tried to penetrate Cole with the Athame, he shunked him. He shunked the wall.
Yeah. That's true.
And Cole said, damn.
And stuff.
This panel shouldn't be this funny to me, but I think it's funny because it's so random and it's in the middle of this like whole issue that's not even drawn this way. But when Bevan is like crushing over Phoebe and he's got the big eyes, it's
so cute.
But it's so wonderful.
I like that one. Yeah.
I do like
cute.
that one too.
I like that one.
All
That
right,
was really cute.
Same one too?
I mean, I just have to go with the shillelagh polishing because it's just so funny. I think I would go with the one where he says, I was just getting into a really good rhythm.
That's when it clicked in my head. This is masturbation.
Yeah, right. That was just so cheeky on the writer's behalf. I like that. That's really good.
Nice. My most valuable panel is The one where the Rainbow Union and Phoebe and Leo fall on their ass. And
Yes.
I like that one a lot too. It's so simple, so amazing. And it's really pretty because we get rainbows.
Yeah.
Sexiest drawing.
Ooh, girl. When they're all walking towards Bevan for the first time, and it's like this butt shot with Leo's shirt dramatically blowing off his ass. You get to see Paige's ass. You get to see Andrew O'Brien's ass. Like, yes, mama, get it.
That is nice. That's really nicely drawn, actually, with the sunlight and the trees.
Yeah.
It's a nice panel. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
I like how I'm talking about asses, and you're like, look at the shading.
Well, you can't. Yeah, you can't see Leo's ass properly because of his shirt. So.
Yeah.
For me, I actually go with, I think, Black Widow Paige.
Yeah.
That's a cool power move that we've kind of seen before, but I like it. It's cool. She's got the outfit that we like, that outfit and the hair. Does it look anything like Rose McGowan? Absolutely not, but it's cool anyway.
Yeah, right.
Meanwhile, on the right-hand side of that same panel, you've got, weird blonde woman who looks nothing like Phoebe.
Speaking of that, that's my sexiest drawing. Phoebe levitating and kicking Murray.
Nice.
Such grace, such badassery. Like, it's hot. I get why Bevan would fall in love with her. Like, it's awesome. All right.
Nice.
Cool. All right, so now we're at issue ranking. Is Magically Malicious magically delicious?
I would say Pretty Witching. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Pretty Witching?
Pretty Witching? Why?
I mean, I like it. It's good. There's a couple of things that I didn't like, mainly some of the drawings and, Phoebe being on the cover and things like that. But overall, I really liked it. I thought it was a good issue, so I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm borderline magically delicious, I think. It's magically tasty.
Okay. I agree. The art is not my favorite. I was kind of sad when I saw that this is the artist for most of season 10 because I don't think they're a bad artist. Just with likenesses, it's not their strong point. But I'm not going to take away for the art because I'm not going to hate on it too much if I can't do better.
Right.
So I gave it a Magically Delicious also because it was a really good story. It was fun. It had everything I needed and it charmed, and I could totally see this as a live action episode.
Yeah, I agree.
I gave it a Magically Delicious as well. I know they get much darker and much deeper. But I had a lot of good time with this one. Perfect amount of humor, a little bit, a nice amount of heart. So
damn it all! I want to be magically delicious as well. Okay.
Okay. It took you into it.
Okay. 3 for 3.
3 for 3. This is Pat's favorite title of season 10. I mean, it is a very fun title for sure. Great pun.
So, Kevin, when you came up with Magically Delicious as a ranking, did this title, was this in your head or your mind, or was it just complete coincidence?
It was in my brain. Yeah, because I knew it.
Okay, you had it.
Was
Yeah,
there.
okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And because, I like Lucky Charms, so.
Yeah, they're magically delicious.
Yeah.
Speaking of, let's move on to our PS4 poll.
Prue? Piper. You mean it's just you and Prue, huh?
Phoebe? Phoebe, you there?
And a big hello to you too, Penny.
Come on, Patty. The rest is up to them.
Paige. My name is Paige.
Another P, imagine that.
P is for poll. My question this week is, what Lucky Charms and Marshmallow would you be and why?
Wow, we're getting really deep.
And if you need to be reminded, there's hearts, stars, and horseshoes, clovers and blue moons, pots of gold and rainbows, and the red balloons.
I just had to do a quick Google image to remind myself what they look
at them.
Like. Green is my favorite color, so I go with clovers.
Nice.
I didn't even have to look. I already know. I would be in rainbows because I am so gay, Kevin. Even somebody who's been on this show was even like, I just love that you look kind of like mask, but you sound so gay. You have such a gay ass voice, and I was like, thank you.
Oh my god! Well, thank you. I love it.
Yes. He's a gay ass bitch. He's Joey Gay.
I told everybody I know. I was told I have a gay ass voice, and I love it.
Amazing. I'm gonna choose for me hearts, because everything I do and the way I relate to everything is with my heart. I trust by emotions, and they make them my priority. And even though I'm not really romantic, I certainly keep a lot of feelings to myself, and I feel them very intensely. And yeah, that's my main guide.
Aww.
So, yeah.
I love how you always come up with something so deep, and I'm like, I
I'm
like
a gay ass
boy.
So, Sean, go ahead and tell us what's next.
Oh, and this picture, Kevin, this picture. So we have a Paige. She's surrounded by 4 black cats. So yeah, now we have the inside scoop. Pat Shan loves cats. And it's called The Perks of Being a White Lighter. And it says, as a pair of never-do-wells demons attempt to activate a weapon that could mean the end of the Charmed Ones, Paige takes on a new charge. But what will she do when her latest witch in training turns into, well, a bunch of cats? Also, the Angel of Death is back, but not in a way anyone will expect. Not how you think he'd be. Least of all, the angel himself.
Beautiful.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting juicy.
So lots of pussies in the next episode.
Very many.
Yay!
Very many. Very many black pussies. We did it, y'all.
Yay!
Tobias, where can people follow you if they want to see more of you?
You can find me on Instagram under Tobias Burning, and I may or may not accept your request. I'm not gonna lie. Don't get your hopes up.
Yeah. Sean.
So you can find me on Once Upon a Cult. We're coming down to our last 2 episodes. You can find me on Marvelous Galaxy of Disney. I actually was just reading some really cool news that we're going to talk about on the show. Excited about that, winky face. Ooh. And you can find my book on Amazon, Witch's Brew, Dream of Waking.
All right. Well, you can find Sean and I also on Solving for X. And then you can follow this podcast at Words of the Witches, all places except for Twitter, where that's Words of Witches. Yes. Rate and review on Spotify and Apple. That would be groovy and great. And we will see you all next week. Bye, Spellworders. Your destiny still awaits. Oh.